Greetings, true believers. It's your pal Spider-Man back again for another shave. Today is gonna be take two. Because I already did the shave once. Not today, 2 days ago. Did this video and turned it off before I started recording. Kind of did a double tap and never realized I wasn't recording until the very end. So we're gonna do this again. I'll be using the exact same stuff that I was going to use before because it's kind of what I wanted to do, is show off a few new things, some things that I've got on sample, some things that I got on trial, and some new stuff that I got. So we're going to get into that. The first thing that I wanted to do is show off the Takichi Hive brush. This is obviously a beehive style brush, synthetic knot. Got this on loan from Takichi, who sells these on his eBay site. Pretty good brush. I like the look of it. Me personally, I'm not wild about the shape of the top of that. I don't know, it just doesn't do anything for me. But we're going to get into using that. Also, I got a sample of CBL's Tonsorial Master Barber in the Dragon's Blood scent. I love his Dragon's Blood scent. It's just amazing. This is one of the most intoxicating scents to me personally. So we're going to get into loading that and talk about the soap and the brush. So I'm going to give this a pretty hefty load. I want to make sure I'm getting plenty of soap in there and get a really good lather today. But the Master Barber line from CBL soaps aren't available yet. I know there's quite a few pucks out and about in the hands of wet shavers getting tested and whatnot. But right now, the only thing that he has on his website is the premium line, which is the more soft soap that you come to expect from all the premium soap makers, all the upper tier soaps. It's that kind of softer crope sort of feel to it. And then the Tonsorial, which is a harder puck and is very much akin to the old school soaps that you saw back in the vintage days of like Old Spice, Williams, Yardley, those older school type soaps, and it performs wonderfully. But he did make some improvements on that, and that's what the Master Barber line is. So I think that's what he's going to in the future. And it really is a very nice soap. You can see I got my proto lather. That's just from loading on the puck. Don't even have any additional work time or moisture added to it yet, and already is a pretty good looking lather. Make sure I get enough water added to it. But Chris sent me some samples of some stuff that he's working on. I'm trying to get my impressions on some scents of some things, and sent me the Master Barber and the Bay Rum in on the Dragon's Blood, and man, I just love this Dragon's Blood. I don't think I could ever use one soap every single day. As far as scent, I would get bored, but that said, I could probably use this every day if I had to, because it's such an amazing scent. Look how creamy that is. So the brush, the knot is amazing. It's a great synthetic knot, which a lot of the knots these days are about the same. I think the biggest difference is handles. For me, I'm not digging the size of the base of this handle. The Beehive is fine. I like the size of that. I wouldn't want it any bigger than this. When I compare it to my Paladin Beehive, the Paladin Beehive bulb part is a little bit smaller. Not much, but it is a little bit smaller. But this base, you can see, is quite a bit smaller on that Paladin. And for me, it's just more comfortable to hold this one because it's smaller. I don't think I have small hands, but I've got, I guess, average hands. I know Don really liked this brush, but he's got bigger hands than I do. So for me, the way I want to grab this brush is like this. And there's several different ways to grab a brush. But when I do grab it like that, this is way out too far and it's kind of poking into the sides of my fingers. So I kind of have to modify my grip and hold it like this, which is not my preferred way of holding a Beehive knot. So this brush handle isn't for me, which is sort of why it's good to get on these pass-arounds. You know, try something before you buy it and see if it's going to work out for you. You know, take the opportunity whenever these pass-arounds are going. Like I've got a pass-around going on right now full of like a dozen vintage razors. So if you've never used vintage razors, or you've only tried a couple, maybe you tried a Tech, or maybe you tried a Super Speed, and you don't know, like you've tried a 3-piece, but you haven't tried a TTO. I've got like 6 TTOs and like 6 3-piece, and they're all different. So if you want to try some razors, you know, maybe you're the type of guy that got into this late in the game and, you know, the first thing you got was something like an Edwin Yager or a Merkur, or maybe you went straight into like a Rockwell or a Game Changer, and you never tried a vintage razor. You really need to try vintage. You can get them super cheap, and they work just as well as the modern razors that cost 3, 4, 5, 10 times as much. So the opportunity to get in on one of those pass-arounds is just amazing. Because like I said, you get to try it before you buy it. And especially that many, when you get a box of 12 razors and you get to try them all, because not every razor is going to be for every person. I personally don't like the news. I don't like the Gillette news. I do like the Techs, but I don't like the news. So if I, you know, if my first experience was with a new, and I'm like, oh, I don't like 3-piece razors, or I don't like vintage Gillettes, based off of that one razor, I would never get to try the Tech, which I love. The Tech for me is a great razor, the new is not. And I know other people really, really like the news. So, point is, if you want to get in on that, go sign up on the Shaving Cadre. It's currently with the last person on the list, so there is time. You can get in on this before it is over, but you gotta go do it now. But yeah, Takechi, Don started this pass, and I'm really happy about that. You know, he wanted people to try out the handle and see if it was going to be something that they wanted, and I think the vast majority of the people that got in on the pass have really enjoyed it. And I think most of them are gonna try to get one. Me personally, I'm not. I don't like the base of that one, but I was tempted, really, really tempted to buy one back when they first came out. And it was really, to me, the shape of the top of this that kind of turned me off to it. I didn't like the shape of that, but I still wanted to try it out. So I got in on the pass and confirmed for me that it wasn't for me. So that worked out really well. And just for the cost of shipping, I got to try it rather than, rather than trying to buy it, not like it, and then try to sell it for a loss, which it's now a wash, because if I sold it for a loss, I would have been out the same amount that I'm spending to send this back through the mail. So it worked out in my favor in this case. He also included a separate brush to try out in the pass. So again, getting to try out multiple things because of a pass is great. He sent this cashmere knot, which I have 2 cashmere brushes already. So I pretty much know what the cashmere knot is like. I don't know if I'll actually use that one or not before it goes back. It does feel a little bit softer than the 2 that I have. So it may be a different cashmere knot, I'm not sure. So this soap, wow, super residual slickness. I can do my touch-up pass right now without even re-lathering. And I do, like, I want to talk about residual slickness a little bit, because I know everyone's definition of residual slickness is different. For me, see, anytime you shave, your razor is not going to get all of the soap off of your face. It looks like it does, but there's still always going to be a film, right? And that's why you got to rinse your face when you're done. So, I know some people will, after their shave, like right now, they take some water, splash it on their face, and say, oh, this soap's got great residual slickness. No, it doesn't, because all you did was just re-wet the soap. Well, now you've just added water to the soap to give it slickness. And that, to me, is not residual slickness. Residual slickness is when you're done and your face is still not dried out. There's still slickness without adding the water to it. And I think a lot of people don't count that as residual slickness. And that's why a lot of time there's discrepancy. Like somebody will say, oh, this soap has great residual slickness. And then I'll try it and I find that it dries out on my face and that there isn't any residual slickness. So I think that's a important distinction. And it's tough because within the wet shaving community, there isn't a standard of definitions of, oh, this razor is efficient, or this razor is aggressive or smooth, or the soap is slick, the soap has residual slickness, the soap has cushion. Like a lot of these things are very hard to actually define and quantify and qualify. And so everybody just kind of uses the definition as it applies to them or as they think it applies. And for the most part, most everybody talks about them in the same way. And if somebody's confused, they can say, well, what do you mean by that? And they can describe it. And they're like, okay, well, the way they describe it might not be the way I describe it. So really, it only applies as far as the individual person that's telling it. But I think we need to do better as a community and just have better standardization and define like residual slickness. Is it slick after I've done my entire pass and haven't rinsed off my face, haven't done anything. I've done my entire pass, I rinse off my razor, I go back to my face. Is it still slick on my face now? That's residual slickness. If I have to take some water and put it back on, that's all I'm doing is reactivating that lather and adding water to it so that it will continue to be slick. You can do that with any soap. Any soap is going to be slick if you add water back to it. But having that residual slickness is what you really want. Or at least it's what I want. That's what I look for in residual slickness. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Maybe my definition of residual slickness is not correct. But I think it is because, like I said, you can take any soap and add in that water and get it to be slick again, enough to do a touch-up pass or another full pass. So I don't think that is what defines residual slickness. Okay, new product for me. I got Via Barberia by Omega. This is a hyaluronic acid aftershave serum. This I bought from Gifts and Care, which is overseas, and took me about 5 to 6 weeks to get it. Should have had it in about 2 weeks. But you know the way that the mail system works, currently things are slow, especially coming from overseas. I think things stay in customs for a lot longer. But I got 3 different scents. We got the Herbe, we got the Aqua, and we got the Fructi. Now the Fructi is very fruity, very, very sweet smelling. Very strong, not super strong, but compared to everything else, it's strong when you first apply it, but then it goes away pretty quick. I found the Aqua, which I thought I was gonna like the best initially, before I smelled them. Almost has no scent. It should be a very light aquatic, but it almost has no scent at all. The Herbe, we're gonna try that out right now. It is mildly herbaceous, I would say, and now it's going away. The scent is going away, which is really good because with a product like this, I don't necessarily want that scent to be overpowering. But I would say that would pair, and it doesn't even matter what it pairs with because it's pretty much gone after you apply it. But that would pair well with a Martin de Condra original with those herbaceous kind of notes, and Agua Brava. The Agua Brava cologne's kind of a herbally kind of spice, not what you think of spice, but herbs and spice. So yeah, I'm digging that combination. That makes me want to use the Agua Brava, so that's what I'm going to use to follow that up with. So that's the shave for the day. Got to try some new things. Got to see the new brush from Takichi. I didn't mention it, but I did use the Vashgod blade in my Feather ASD2, and that is just a wonderful combination. Barber Dave suggested that. We had all kind of started with the Feather blade in that one, and I really liked it. I used mine for a month and a half before I changed the blade out, so I was really looking forward to the blade getting used up so that I could put the Vashgod in there, and when I did, oh wow, it was really, really good. I got a super good smooth shave today. And I think that the blade, I've been using that blade for about 5 days now, and it's still super, super smooth. There's something about that combination. There's almost no blade feel, and it barely feels like there's a blade in it at all, and it just shaves so, so smooth. So I will wrap this up by saying that I'm getting ready to go on a trip for work, and I'll be gone for a while. But that means that I'm going to be able to do some shave videos from a different location, which will be kind of interesting. And every year or so I go on one of these trips and I get to do a travel shave, and I get to show you what I'm using when I'm on the road and shaving in weird locations. So I'm looking forward to that. This will probably be my last video before I go. I may sneak another one in there, I'm not sure, but probably be my last one. Got a lot of stuff to get ready and get done and packed before I hit the road. So we'll sign off, and you'll see some cool pictures and some cool videos a little bit later. So enjoy your shaves, guys. Bye.